Trident Wargaming. Build it, paint it, play it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Trident Wargaming. You've got 4 Heresy hooligans here. We are coming off of a Heresy event from Victoria. We were able to go down there and bust out some games with Boys of the Golden Throne and BB Miniatures, which was a pretty good time. We're joined here, obviously you recognize my co-host Monte.
Hey guys.
And we've got 2 of our special Heresy friends. We've got Ben.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, he is an Iron Warrior player extraordinaire, and we're also joined with Dustin.
Hello.
Dustin's usually our Salamander player here locally. This round, though, he was rocking out some Titanicus. Before we get started here, I guess we'll do a little intro, some hobby time, like what we've been working on. I guess I can just jump in first. As far as hobby time so far, I've been busting out a lot of Marines. I recently successfully sold my Iron Warrior Heresy army. I was able to pick up some. I was able to pick up some MK3 Marines, the new sculpts, because my focus is going to be creating a very late Heresy, early 40k style army. Heavily influenced from Iron Within, from Warhammer Plus. So I kind of want to bust out like a Hanzu model, some really cool looking warsmiths, and really try and emphasize that Iron Warrior army, which primarily will be probably a 40k army mostly, but if I ever have the option to bust out some zone games with it, I definitely will. And then I've been working on some BATAB stuff, trying to ramp that shit up. It's starting to take over. There's a lot of Marines getting built right now, so. And,
So you heard it here first.
Yeah.
His Drukhari is parked.
For now.
And his Drukhari is parked, and he's going to be using some 30k models for his 40k army of Iron Warriors.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
Oh no.
It is the highest level of heresy. So
it'd be good to see.
That's kind of been my thing. I have been dabbling a little bit as well in some Necromunda. My hands were sore the other day from building a shit ton of columns and walls and all sorts of stuff. And then I found another tote full of that stuff. So it's just, I'll probably be building for the next 2-3 weeks, trying to get everything ready to go. But that's the breaks. Trying to run cool shit. If you don't have terrain, you're kind of hooped.
Sure.
So
You also got a certain character done for this event.
I did actually. I did have the Evander Garrus, the Tyrant of Chthonia, and it was a stressful time actually leading up to that event. I was procrastinating as I normally do. And I was like, I'll paint this in a week, no problem. And here I was sitting at my house, and it was 7:30 on Thursday. We fly out, we're leaving 5 a.m. basically to get prepped and go to the airport. And I'm like, holy fuck, I got to finish this model. It was base sprayed. It was washed. So, all the recesses were kind of washed in, but that's very basic shit. And I needed to sit down and crank it out. And I finished it at about 10 after 11. And I was in full panic painting mode. But it worked out really well. If you've been following on the socials, you've seen some pictures of them. And that monster was a fucking true scale cataphract armored dude. Printed by Dustin. So many thanks.
It looks great.
Yeah. No, he did a killer job.
Super cool.
So super job.
A lot of people loved it.
Yeah.
Good.
I almost didn't want to give it to you after the print. It was that nice.
Because it looks so good. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even need to paint that. It looked that good.
No, it did. It looked awesome. I've been chasing that sweet true scale dragon, and one of the enablers is here. in the flesh to talk with us too. But it's been nice. It's been nice to jump into the new scale. That true scale is just, it's fucking gorgeous. Like, I was doing a lot of comparisons between my Imperial Fist army with my standard Tartaros Cataphract Terminators and like the new scale. It's just like, oh god, this is just too crazy. I can't go back. I gotta keep pushing. So that's kind of what I've been doing. It sounds like a lot, and actually it has been a lot. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah.
Yeah. I guess leading up to the event, like myself, was just finishing off those bikes for the White Scarves finally that we talked about probably, I don't know, 6-7 months ago, beginning of this year. That we, me and Bill were like, yeah, we're gonna get it done. We have an event in November. You know, we're gonna go and we're gonna get these done. You know, way before the event. No, like last 2 weeks, it's like hammer down, hand paint all these different designs on Outrider bikes.
I do remember that though, feeling smug as fuck. Like, fuck, we got 6
Yeah.
months. We'll paint this shit.
We'll get it done. No problem. I only got 18 bikes to do.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, 2 weeks down, 2 weeks left. I was like, oh shit. But it was good. It's funny how events do that, right? They really push you to get stuff done. I know even Dustin was working pretty hard on his Titanicus too.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, there was the White Scars to finish them off, which is, I'm glad to say, minus the con and their specialized speeder there. That's all I got left for them. Other than that, bolt action projects were kind of done, and essentially was working on some AOS Nurgle demons that I acquired off of Bill. Just getting stuff assembled, put a little bit of color on them, and just started getting some games in. So be able to use it for both systems, 40K and AOS. It'll be fun. So pretty short and sweet, I think. I think that's kind of where I'm sitting. Oh, and pulled out the other Necromunda models that I'm going to be assembling. So, yeah.
Nice. Those are always fun.
Yeah, I got a Sump Croc and a couple of Stimmers or something like that. The big guys, Jack dudes. Can't remember their name exactly, but it'll be fun. Put them together with the other guys and have the gang ready to go smash heads. We start up. So, yeah.
Nice. That's what I always found. Bill, it's funny you were talking about, like, the hand cramps. I did Advanced Our Gang, and man, all the little fiddly bits, like all the little trim that they have, that little neck piece and the hair thing that comes off the back of their head. Man, you're trying to hold this little thing that's 3/4 of an inch long, and you hit it once the wrong way, that thing's gone for oblivion. It's just down a drain, or
Yeah.
a little stressful.
Yep. I'm sure Bill felt that way when he's putting his Drukhari together.
Those are bullshit, man.
Right? So used to big, bulky Space Marines. All of a sudden you have Elder that you got to put together, Van Sar or whatever, right?
Yeah, now stabbing your hand with all the spikes.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll take next. Like the other guys, I had a summer of grand aspirations and achieved very little. Summer in the Okanagan will do that to you. A lot of other temptation, get to the beach, get mountain biking, all that stuff. And like, yeah, I've got tons of time. No. So, of course, I'm panic painting my Lancer. Big ass Cerastus guy. So that was a lot of fun. Still got a little finishing touches to do on him, but really stoked how he's coming together. On top of that, there's just, now I'm coming to the next plan of, all right, what am I going to do for LVO? Oh, it's only 3 months away. I got some time. This is going to be fine. You're realizing, oh, no, got to start today. So that's kind of the next hobby push for the next little bit. Getting all those little details done. Everything's at Tabletop Plus kind of thing, but now you want to get in every little trim, every little rivet, all that kind of stuff all finished up and really make things pop. So that's my big push for the next little bit here. Hopefully not get distracted by the rest of the hobby dragon.
It'll get you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, after the paint crunch for the event in Victoria, with Titanicus, I was feeling the drain. So it's nice to not have that feeling of rushing to finish an event or prepare for an event. So I'm just kind of taking it slow, taking it easy. Right now, I am just working on my Necromunda gang. It's only 7 models to start with. How hard can it be to finish that in a timely manner, right? And then I'm on the beta bitch too. I am starting an Astral Claws army, and I didn't think I was going to do it, but I started piecing it together and slicing it together, and I'm actually going to print an Astraeus for it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
That's
So we'll have the Huron's big flagship tank, and if those damn dirty loyalists want to come take his system back, they can die. He will die trying in his big shiny tank.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Fucking awesome. I know we were chatting about it quite a bit there in Victoria when we were kind of on some downtime, and there was a lot of beta up chat. And after we got back, Dustin and I were kind of chatting. He's like, "We're gonna fucking rewrite history." He's like, "We're taking it this time," and I was like, "Oh, fucking awesome!" He's all in.
Yeah, we're all in. We're doing it.
So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun actually. Next episode, Scott and I are actually going to break that down a little bit, talk about it more in depth. So if you are BETAB curious, stay tuned for next episode. Jumping in, though, for some sweet Heresy action. So we flew down to Victoria. It was a 2-day event. It was 2 matches per day, so a total of 4 games, which actually was kind of a nice relaxed pace for playing in events. Normally, you're playing 3 games day 1, 2 games day 2, or sometimes 3 games day 2. But having only 2 games a day felt very manageable. I didn't mind it at all, actually. They took a lot of... They were taking inspiration from Siege of Chthoniya, so the matches were only 4 turns each. And it actually wasn't too bad at all, like, to play. Some of the games for myself, it felt a little short. Like, I kind of needed I probably need like a turn 5 in some of those matches, but overall, like, really cool. They had a narrative built. Brennan from BB Miniatures was there, who also helped kind of piece together some of the narrative. And you were basically stuck in a system, warp energy, warp kind of taint all over the place was starting to affect everybody. You didn't know if you were friends or foe, so there was a lot of potential where you could be fighting loyalists or traitors as a loyalist or traitor, and that part was kind of neat. They actually had a little bit of a spin on some in their secondary. So traitors versus loyalists, you scored VP for come down. For every unit destroyed immediately or caught in a sweeping advance, you got 1 VP. And for every unit that successfully regroups from being broken, scores 1 VP. Traitor versus traitor, they had a look at me secondary. So every challenge 1 that kills an enemy model, score 1 VP. The enemy warlord is slain as a challenge, score 1 VP. And if your warlord slays the enemy warlord, score an additional VP. They're all cumulative, so you could score 3 VP for that 1 secondary. And then they had show of dominance for every objective that was controlled by an enemy unit at the start of your turn, but is controlled by a friendly unit at the end of your turn, score 1 VP. And that's kind of like an overwhelming force. A little bit of 40k inspiration, I think, but still nicely done. And then they had a loyalist versus loyalist secondary. So we need them intact. Enemy vehicles which are left immobilized and or with a weapon destroyed result at the end of the game are worth 1 VP. So you didn't really want to destroy, like if you got immobilized or weapon destroyed, you didn't want to finish off the tank, which was kind of interesting. And then broken, not removed. Anytime an enemy unit is forced to fall back due to a failed morale test, score 1 VP. It was neat because it wasn't just a standard, kill everybody. It's just, you weren't just going for kill points. They were really trying to push that narrative where you wanted to interact and try and play the missions as much as possible, which I thought they did a decent job on. What do you guys think? How did you guys like those secondaries?
Secondaries were definitely different. Myself, I had a hard time the event, as we all know what place I took last. So yeah, that's another story for later. But definitely different. Took a little getting used to, as I was rusty as fuck in this event. Besides the secondaries, though, like, and we'll get into the missions a little later, I guess, but it gave it a different flavor, right? It wasn't the standard objectives that you're so used to. And then, like, you had a unit there sitting that you're trying to have run away, but you don't want to really destroy it, and it just kind of messes with you a little bit. Like, it messed with me a little bit, trying to get used to it, just to try to get a hold of what the scoring was. But otherwise, it was good. Like, it was different. It was nice. The games were all good, so I liked it. Gave a different spin, so definitely worth checking out. Like, if you could get a hold of the missions or something from Boys of the Golden Throne and whatnot, you can try them out. So
yeah, they were definitely fun. I think the big thing for me is it felt, I'll say, easier to be playing from a trader perspective. Only because it's a lot more in your control. You can choose when you challenge. You can choose when you do this. Versus some of the stuff for the loyalist v loyalist stuff, like about the running away but not killing stuff, has that random element. So I could feel it leads to like that feel bad, for lack of a better word, because you don't really have any control about whether or not you get that immobilized or weapon destroyed. Right, so you're kind of playing that game of risk versus reward. Versus, for me, it's just challenge. I win, cool. I get points. I lose, it was worth a shot.
Yep,
A little
fair.
bit simpler for us trader simpletons, trader smooth brains.
Oh fuck.
No, I enjoyed it. I think it was my first time with the Chthonian missions. Definitely simplified away with, only 4 turns, a little bit less thinking. You don't have to get as far into it. Same with the deployment zones. There's only 3 maps. So it was kind of just different. Let you focus more on just a good game against your opponent instead of kind of levels of complexity on top of each other.
Yeah, I'll agree with that for sure.
And I think that was the whole goal of the event too. It was a social, right? It wasn't a big grand tournament or anything that you're trying to get first place kind of thing. So games were great in my opinion. Had a lot of fun. Learned a lot of things again. The last time I think I played Heresy was
Mega Battle.
Mega Battle.
Yeah.
So coming to learn, the jet bikes aren't quite the beast that they used to be. So as the score score showed. So, but it was cool. Like, missions and everything, pretty neat. And then armies were pretty cool too, as we were seeing a whole bunch of different armies out there that we usually don't see.
Yeah.
I think there's pretty much everything represented, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
Was there
think
Night
so.
Lords? Yeah, there's a Night Lords.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you had all 18 chapters there. Oh, no Blood Angel.
No Blood Angels. Yeah.
No
right.
Blood Angel. That was, I think, the one that was missing, because Teo was supposed to be the ringer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Didn't need to play, so.
That's right. Yeah. Overall,
fun.
Nice spread. Yeah, definitely a nice spread of legions. It was good to see. It was just good. It was good to see a lot of new faces. Like, even a lot of the local guys were like, "Oh man, there's a ton of people they don't recognize." There's a lot of people from Seattle that came, and also Vancouver, which is really neat to see. It's nice to see that the community is still very much like thriving in a lot of spots, and also being able to check out these armies. There's always that nice attention to detail. you're not only playing an event with fellow gamers, but you're also playing with fellow hobbyists that really take their craft to the next level. There was a lot of just very well done armies featured like throughout the whole event, which was cool. It's nice to be able to play in an atmosphere like that, I found.
Yeah.
So
The passion was high because you talk to half the, I'd say over half the people had a sort of backstory or some sort of theme, even if it was something simple as, they're on a siege, World War I style trench works kind of thing, or you've got, any of Kalos's army, and they've all got the crazy weathering and all of the special effect gore and all that stuff that he's added to his stuff. It was pretty cool to see just the passion that people put into their armies.
yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of excitement with the players facing off against each other as well, right? You can see guys hooting and hollering at some key moments and whatnot that happen in their games, or it's down to the wire, that last dice roll. But everybody kind of had a great time, and the guys, of course, coming around, checking out the armies, and you can hear guys commenting on the armies, how they really like how it looks, how they're presented. A lot of real quality paint, painting the armies there, and presentations of certain armies. There's a lot of conversions and even some 3D prints and stuff too that make the armies look really interesting. So, no, it was good. It was really good. It was a good little banger. Bill said earlier about the two games. It was nice. It was relaxing. You had that time, and just go there for fun. Chuck some dice with a couple people that you're playing Heresy with. I think me and Bill had played like side by side on a couple of our rounds. Kind of peek over at his game and see how it's doing. He's just blasting away with his assault can or something, right? So, and then he kind of looks over at mine and realizes that half my army's gone in one turn. So, it's the way it is.
Yeah.
But,
how about so how about you, Dustin? How was it on the AT side?
So on the Titanicus side, there wasn't any narrative missions. We just ended up playing match play out of the match play book. So that's fine because I've never played a 2K game before. So this was a real big experience weekend for me, getting 4 games in like that. Yeah, there was the games were good. Everyone I played was great. They didn't really. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for some sort of narrative, like twists or whatever, but that's okay. It was just good to just have a chill because it's not. I guess it's a lot easier to meta build in 30K as opposed to Titanicus. There really isn't like that be all end all list that you run to murder people, right? So, because in Titanicus, your dice rolling can really screw you over quick, and it doesn't matter how good you are at the game.
Yeah.
But
tell us how the machine spirit.
Yeah. So my first game, and you always take the Wrathful upgrade when you have spare points, right? It's 10 points for a Titan, but when you take it, you never get it. I ended up rolling on my heat dice machine spirit about 80% of the time, and it screwed me. I never passed any command check, so he would just my Titans would just stand there, do nothing, or they would just randomly shoot at the closest thing. And it was fun, but gets a little frustrating after a while. But I just really enjoy the randomness of the game. But actually, one of my best games was, even just seeing the community and everything, like new faces and whatnot. I got to see a lot of units I've never seen before, a lot of different Legios that aren't necessarily in our community here. So I got to see a Psi Titan for the first time, and that that he's like, yeah, this the whatever, I can't remember the name of the weapon on it, strength 10 bypasses shields. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, all right. It's he just had to focus him down. But in that same game, he had, I've never seen a warp missile before, a vortex missile. He shot it first turn, one shot my Reaver. I'm like, all right, cool, this is bullshit.
Turn one, you
But,
got nothing left.
Yeah.
yeah. I learned neutron is bullshit good. But yeah, it was in that game where the warp missile one shot my Reaver and the Psi Titan was just walking over me. I did end up tabling the guy at the end of the game, so that felt really good. It was, but all in all, like, I had lots of fun with it, and it was there was lots of comments like for the armies, lots of really well painted legios there as well. And yeah, it was just it was great to get to socialize with a lot of people. They're just like, oh yeah, you're from Edmonton? Yeah, cool, that's great. And I think a majority of everyone I played was from Vancouver.
Yeah, that I think that was also a big bonus. Like, I didn't end up playing anybody that I knew initially. Like no one from Edmonton, which was cool. Even though there's only a couple of us. It was just, it's nice to play random, like, new people, I think, in the events as you're going. I did end up having a grudge match with Ezra. We had our Iron Warrior and Imperial Fist rematch where we both ended up tying once again. So very grindy, very bloody battle, which was really cool, ending in a stalemate. So, until we meet again, Ezra, on the battlefield, it'll be definitely one of my more fond games, because it was just very violent back and forth, a lot of trading of units, which was really cool. We did play long ways, and he outguns me a little bit. He's a lot longer range than I do. My Imperial Fist army is somewhat built kind of like a pit bull. It's really vicious within 24 inches. Outside of that, my efficiency gets reduced quite a bit. So I had to try and spring up the board as fast as I could. And it was a lot of fun, though. Just had a big old brawl in the middle of the board. Lots of DACA back and forth. So I think realistically that's the best kind of games you can have when you're facing against ancient foes.
Oh yeah,
So
100%.
yeah,
Wow.
probably my top game of the weekend, though, I think, was playing them. It's always a good time. So
I think with myself, or the last match I had of the event, Ray and his world leaders. The mission, you were allowed to pick essentially your main mission in that one, right? So there was one that was essentially destroy units. There was another one by the end of the game. You're able to fly off the board, which I really considered. And then I can't quite remember what the other one was, but
Casualty in the center.
That was
And you could
Casualty.
pick 'em up.
yes, that was
it
right.
was- Yeah, it was a marker in the
So-
middle, and you could put it on a transport
Yeah.
and drive it away. It was like recovering your fallen guy or whatever. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a cool little flair.
So that was a neat mission selection that you were able to use. I ended up picking the one to destroy units over my better judgment of kind of flee off the board. But against the world eaters and Ray, like, we just had that attitude is, screw it, let's go head to head. I'm zipping in there. I'm doing some scout moves, getting my guns down on his tanks, blowing up tanks, and trying to take out his troops. He's ripping up forward with his world leaders, just mad rush of Space Marine warriors coming at you all berserker style. And then essentially it was, using my tactic for White Scars. As soon as he moves, I pull back with my whole army kind of thing, which I did with majority of my units, but the whole thing was swooping in with Golden Kashig and my Praetor, running up and facing against his Praetor, and his Rampagers. I think he had like a big 20-man Rampager squad. So we went toe to toe, and unfortunately, and this was happening to me all tournament, is my charge rolls I was failing. So my Golden Shed got caught out in the open, and then he assaulted me. We ended up challenging. I guess he would get a +1 to his initiative, so he actually like headed my Praetor essentially. And I was just like, this is not good. So, but it was just a great attitude for gaming. We had a lot of fun, a lot of banter back and forth kind of thing. He was like, oh, I thought you were honorable, but look at your fleeing back, that kind of thing. A lot of compliments on each other's army, and just the visuals of the armies clashing against each other. Big bike army swooping on the right side, making that flank, kind of trying to come in and cut him off, where he's this massive armored horde is coming at you from the bulk of the corner of the table, and it's just like picture like orcs in power armor coming at you kind of thing, but they're berserkers, you know what I mean? Like world eaters. So it was really good. It was really a lot of fun, even though I lost. Super fun, super thematic, great attitude from Ray, and it was just super enjoyable. So and it was good to see. I actually never played against world eaters in this edition, but it was nice to play against them. Nice to see them on the board. We kind of lack them here in Edmonton. We don't really have. We have one guy, but well, actually, maybe not even more. But yeah, it's just great. It was a great game. It was fun. Essentially, we were like, yeah, we don't care. Let's go at it. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, he definitely had a easygoing personality for sure. I played him round 2, and I think my game against him, I have not laughed so much playing a game of Heresy ever. Like, it was probably one of my favorite games I've ever played. Just super cool guy, really chill. It was definitely back and forth. The score at the end of the game didn't quite do it because it was one of those 4 objectives, and so we had the corner deployment zone, and each one is worth 1, except if it's in your opponent's deployment, and then it's worth 3. And I managed to kind of swing that at the end of the game, so it really skewed the score. But otherwise, it was super close right to the very end. Just fun, because he had a very devil-may-care attitude, just kind of throw everything into the meat grinder and see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, the extra laugh for that one is that Lancer I was working on brought him to the event, did not expect anything out of it. I expected it to be a distraction card effects, if nothing else. And he ended up being my MVP the whole weekend. Other than the one game I played the Dark Angels guys, because, I mean, they're just nasty to everybody they play. But when I was playing Ray, it was hilarious because I booted him up the right side, failed the charge, and he ended up swamping me with 2 Contemptors the next turn. So this is bottom of 1. He's swarming me with 2 Contemptors. They slapped at each other for 7 rounds of combat. Never doing damage to my guy, which I don't know how that happened because like his dice just betrayed him, and my Lancer was just slowly poking for 1 or 2 wounds every turn, and then eventually it was my turn 4. Finally stabbed the 1 Contemptor he's been hitting at the whole time. Kills him. Blows up. The explosion wounds. I fail my invuln save, so my Lancer dies, explodes, does damage to his other Contemptor, and that's how the game ended. So it was just kind of one of those hilarious, it should never have lasted that long, but every round it was just like this ongoing joke. So I mean, definitely didn't get his points back, but he tied up 450 points. That kind of let my army do the rest of its work. But that Lancer, man, that is nasty business. He is so much better than I thought he was going to be. I made a quick tally because the first game I started to just see what he was doing. I'm like, okay, I got to keep track of this. So he finished up with 2 Medusas, the old Basilisk Mortar style ones, 2 Land Raiders, a Grave Warden Terminator, 4 heavy support squad dudes just from stuff exploding and killing guys just off the side, 1 Contemptor, and then the wounds onto the other one. It was just like 450 point model that is just swinging way above his pay grade.
That's
So
awesome.
it's fun. Yeah, when you can just launch him just as a giant missile down the one flank, and your opponent just goes, "Guess I got to deal with him."
Speaking of Lancers, I made the mistake in my first game, of ignoring Knights, and they just got close, and same with Porphyrions, just murdered me. So every game after that, I saw Knights, they all took Volcano Blasts until they were all dead.
Yeah, well, you got to learn, right? And that's
Yeah, oh yeah, it was a good learning lesson.
that's the biggest thing.
But that's
the
with that's the nice thing about these events like this is more as you go to more of them and get more games under the belt, and whatnot. You get to see that kind of stuff. It might not be represented in your community, right? So like I've never played against Knights or Pori in Titanicus.
Yeah, they're pretty
You know,
rare in our community.
No.
So and it's good. It's great. Like I said, I never played a World Eater player before. Sure enough, here I did. Right. So, yeah, it's good. It's a good experience. Always, most events are like that, right? Like, get a good selection and whatnot of armies that come out. There's guys that they tinker and really make those nice fixes to their army or bring something unique, and that's the part of the gaming community, right? And the players. So, pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid venue as well. Really nicely laid out for space. They did have an open bar, which was nice. Something we're definitely used to partaking. So it was nice to have some cool beverages to drink while we played our Heresy matches. That I did like. It just added to more of a chill atmosphere when you were playing. So it definitely, like, no game was taken like too seriously, but it was definitely just a very chill, fun time to get in there and play. And it was nice to see a lot of the Golden Throne crew. I was able to chat with everybody, kind of follow up. I haven't talked to some of the guys since we did the Iron Without in April, so it was a long time for me. And yeah, speaking of rusty as fuck, like, that's basically the last time I played Heresy was that event. So it's been a few months. My first game was a little shaky. I know I busted out like my laser pointer and I was like, oh nice, I'm gonna be obscured, and I'm like, nope, wrong game. And had to get back, and I was like, oh yeah, Marines move 7 inches. This fucks me up. Like, the movement was a little fucky for me, flipping back and forth, just trying to remember what everything was. But it worked out. I got it back pretty quick.
But you weren't the only one though.
No.
So,
no.
It was funny because the night before we were sitting in the hotel room, you guys are going through the rule book trying to remember reactions and what do these abilities do?
Yeah.
Do I actually need this? Do I need that?
And that was the thing, is like my first 2 games, it could have made a difference, but like there was a couple of even my White Scar rules like I totally forgot about. Right? And it's like, yeah, we know how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Just shake your head and nod. Yeah, okay, good. Go.
There were some times throughout the weekend event there where I was like, fuck, I would give my left nut for a CP reroll, because I just was hoping so bad. I was like, god damn. But it was a lot of fun to play. It definitely it came back quickly. The Iliastus assault cannons, they just go bare. And that list has always been fun to play. It's just an obscene amount of dice get thrown down the board, and after a couple rounds of shooting, people are like, holy fuck, like, either they deal with what's shooting or they don't. But it was very fun. What was that? Day 1, my second match was against Space Wolves, against Adam. And it was beautifully done up. Kalis painted that army, and it was just phenomenal. But it was just this giant horde of Vikings charging up the table, and I was like, holy fuck, like, there's a ton of bodies here. and I either have to shoot and kill them all, or I'm going to get assaulted. And I was able to just hold them back at the point where they were just starting to get into combat, and it took a lot of pulling back some of my squads and just firing as much DACA as I could into the oncoming rush. Like, it was pretty wild. Space Wolves have definitely had a glow up in 2.0. So I had some respect and kind of knew what to expect from playing Jimbo here in Edmonton a couple times. So I knew they were going to be nasty, and yeah, I just definitely could not let them go into my lines. But it was like, aesthetically, it was a beautiful game. Like, that and my Iron Warrior one, it looks so good. Just so much contrast on the table, and the tables were really good too. Speaking of
Just
which,
gonna say,
they had a ton of different tables, a bunch of the citizen soldiers that brought tables to use for the event as well. There were some really phenomenal ones. I took a ton of pictures, just really inspired to try and
The
replicate
Istvan one
some
was
of them.
super cool.
Istvan
Istvan
was
5
super
one.
cool. Yeah, that's Phil's table, and like I really liked it. He had Eric paint some of his Emperor's Children casualties around the board as well, and then Phil was doing Iron Hand casualties everywhere. Like, it was very thematic. He had a really cool kind of like craggy cliff right in the center of the board, which if you were going to have any big character battles, like, that's obviously we're going to have it. Ezra and I just had a sergeant fight kind of on top of there, but it lasted like 4 rounds of combat. It was just a slap fight in the middle, which was awesome. So it's always cool, right? There's just, a lot of neat things. I did notice something that I didn't even consider. Evander Garrus is a weird model. His rules are cool, kind of obscene. Like, if you're losing, you roll a d6. If you roll a 6, you subtract 1 BP from the opponent, which is kind of cool. Plus, you get Rage 2 for him and the squad he's with if you're losing, which was like, oh, fuck, okay. But he's modeled in cataphract armor, but in his rules, it is not mentioned. He's just wearing the special suit of Terminator armor, the Subjugator, which doesn't follow cataphract rules. So he can still sweep, he can still run, he can do all that other shit because he's not in cataphract. It's just, I was like, oh, that's kind of fucking weird.
It still has the invuln and everything.
Yeah. Still, he's still
Risky.
rocking the 2+, 4+. He is T5, so I was tanking las cannon shots with him, and it was pretty fun. But yeah, it's kind of weird. There's just some things that I was like, well, that needs an FAQ. Like, what the fuck? But it was neat. Like, I kind of
Harrison needs an FAQ.
I know, right? It's So, but it was fun. Despite the system needing a couple key little updates here and there, knowing what those issues are and trying to just steer clear of them and just kind of have more of a beer and pretzels approach to the game definitely seemed to help. It didn't leave me with a bad taste in my mouth or anything. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed my weekend rolling dice and playing Heresy. So it was nice to knock the rust off and really get my kind of mojo back with the army. I was able to sell off my squad of snipers to Martin, and I hope that they serve him well locally, because they've punished many a traitor on my end here, and it'll be pretty sweet. I'm gonna have some true scale snipers coming in. That's why I was trying to unload them, and I'm still selling off like Terminators as well, just chasing that true scale dragon. So the whole army will be revamped and done up in true scale, which is I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be just this very fresh, cool looking force. So
yeah, it's gonna look great.
yeah,
It's I'm too deep to start over again, so I can't do the true scale dragon.
I can't do it. I've got about 50 or 60 unbuilt Mark III bodies sitting in a box right now, so
my goodness,
I have committed
all the way.
all the way.
I
Many men for me.
It's all good.
can't say that I wouldn't do it, Currently, right now, obviously not with the white scars, as I just finished them. So, and that'd be expensive as hell. But down the road, if I do a new Legion at some point, I actually ended up parting ways with my Thousand Sons as well. But looking at a different Legion, that's probably the route that I'll go as well. You might as well just start fresh with it, go from there. There's a lot of really cool 3D prints and stuff out there. There's a few people in here that can out neat looking miniatures and parts and bits and this and that. So there's always that option too. So yeah, just down the road. Maybe.
Speaking of 3D prints, Bill, don't let me forget. I got all those 40K Hansu characters and everything. I've got files for all that, so I'll hook you up with that so you can get some extra flavor in your stuff because they're pretty slick.
Excellent. Yeah. No, I actually did forget about that, so I'm glad you mentioned that again. That'll be pretty slick.
The other thing I want to mention about the event as well is they had quite a good range of prize support. For the event. And of course, it wasn't based on if you were first place or anything like that. It's mainly community kind of voted event or awards and stuff like that. So they also had a painting competition as well.
That's true.
Which was cool. There was a lot of top-notch miniatures up there, including Dustin's Titan that was up there as well. Your Warlord.
Yeah, my Warlord.
Right? Which he put a lot of, time and effort into and had a cool custom base that he printed up and whatnot.
Yeah, I was going to say that flavor you put on your basing, especially because it's a local guy that you're like, every single one of your models is just getting stomped on, Alex.
Yeah, my favorite is the Dead Emperor's Children models.
Yeah. No, the best was when I first started doing it, I sent him a picture of just the tank itself. And he's like, "Oh, someone stole my paint scheme." And I was like, send him the picture of the full thing with one Reaver like stomping on the one tank.
Oh,
and I'm
no.
like, "Oh no!"
Oh, it's the best. That's like, tell me that's not fucking wholesome though, where you can kind of troll other players and build that rivalry shit, right? That's, to me, I think that's what makes it next level.
I would expect nothing less from Alex. He's probably already doing it to me.
Yeah, he's already plotting how he's going to get back at you.
Bill's done that for so many years, even when he was playing as Zorks. Like, you got any Space Marine shoulder pads? Like, why? I'm going to use one in your colors. You fuck.
Yeah.
There's looted armor,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was great. A lot of good prizes, a lot of good giveaways. And of course, it was a remembrance of one of their fellow players that passed away. So it was great. It was good. And I guess the other thing is one of us came home with a prize.
Big prize.
Special prize.
Oh yes, special.
It was known as the Power Bottom prize.
So Power Bottom, I ended up taking that with my total score of 7 points. Was it? Yeah, for the whole event. So I didn't do too well. I came in last, but there was a special little prize or a trophy that they ended up giving away, and the boys are always chuckling about it, and probably will forever chuckle about it. And of course, I was the one who won it. But they had a butt plug trophy, is what they did.
Yep.
So the humor of the guys there is, funny. Everybody has that funny. Everybody was laughing it up, kind of thing, right? So
it's so much better than a wooden spoon as well.
It was. Well, it was like a chromatic color shifting butt plug, right? Which was on like a pedestal base too. Like it looked very
that was pretty nice actually. Yeah.
And It was funny because John came up to me and was like, "Yeah, we're really rooting for you. You know, we wanted to get you a prize too, so and we were really rooting for you to get it." And it's like, "Oh, thanks, guys. I guess."
Yeah.
So didn't take it with me, so I know the guys are disappointed in me, but they will be able to give that prize away again on their next event. So it'll lead to more
Matt,
laughs.
I wanted to hear this. I wanted to hear the stories of trying to take that through security. Sir, is there something you want us to
what
show
is
us
this
here?
for?
Yeah, no, we didn't need that extra attention. So, but it will lead to more laughs and other moments for those guys there too. Is their, that's their humor. Especially even with their missions that they put up with the QR codes and the pictures of the, on the QR codes, just funny pictures of whatever.
Yeah, pictures around the hall and stuff.
Yeah. So that's good. They got a great attitude. They got a lot of skill for gaming and painting as well. They're connected fairly well with the community and people around that community as well. The artists there, the BB Miniatures.
Yeah.
Right? Like, as Bill eventually, he told me who he was. I looked him up and it's like, holy shit, that's him.
The wizard.
Like the wizard.
Yeah.
And he had a beautiful Thousand Suns army there that he painted, and being able to see it up close was pretty wicked, But yeah, just overall, I think it was great. They had a lot of fun. I think everybody had a lot of fun. I don't think anybody really walked away with a bad taste in their mouth. It was for a great cause as well. And they had a little different thing too, where they had a little bit swap there as well. And there was some stuff that was just free because it was an older collection of the individual there. So yeah, it was great. I think it was a very positive and successful event for them. So definitely, when they have those events, check them out. If you can go. It's a fun time.
Not to mention.
Yeah, I can't recommend.
Oh, go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
I was going to say I can't recommend it enough. Like they're doing. They say they're going to be doing this again. Like as more of a memorial thing. They're also the guys who do all the Kippers Melee stuff as well. So, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a pain getting out to Victoria, but at the same time, it's. I don't think I saw one table where there was any sort of tension all weekend.
No.
Like it brought out the right group of guys. Like everybody was there for the right reasons, and I think the games and everybody's attitude coming out of it was indicative of that. So it was just, hey, this was an awesome weekend. I as soon as the option comes up, as long as I'm not away for work, I will 100% be going back.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I just wanted to make mention because I think we were best dressed team. We were rocking our Warrior Lodge jerseys day one and looking sharp as fuck. And then day two, we had to bust out the Trident jerseys. And I got a lot of compliments on the jerseys, actually. A lot of people were like, oh, those look fucking awesome. Like, very Iron Warrior. And I was like, well, yeah. That's kind of Trident's heavily inspired by Iron Warriors. Yeah, so it's I definitely enjoyed having us roll out as a team, as a crew. It was nice to we were giving away Trident dice to opponents and really just trying to mingle with everybody, right? But it was cool to look through the crowd, when you're playing and you can see your friends wearing your jersey colors, and you're like, yeah, that's my fucking team right there. Everyone's doing their thing. It's fucking nice. So definitely enjoyed
I
that.
want to go out to more events just so I can wear it more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They're so comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it is that jersey material as well. So it's kind of nice. Like you don't have that. Sometimes those gaming halls get a little hot, and it's nice to have something that's
Nice
breathable
cool.
and it's just exactly. Yeah. So you look good, feel good, play good. Some of us.
Yeah, I'm getting that letter from HR saying I'm off the team. So going back to the minors,
Yeah.
It's all good.
No, definitely.
Everyone's got the role player.
It was good. They Sometimes you got to jump on a sword.
It's true.
Other times it's just lay down that firepower and score as best you can.
At least you looked good doing it.
That's right.
Of course I looked good.
Right.
It was in the Trident jersey.
That's right.
Well, beautiful army too.
Yes, that's the crazy thing too, is like when everybody had their armies set up and whatnot, there was a lot of guys there that they don't know me. Like they know I'm part of Trident, or I work with Bill, but I'm not really the big social guy. Bill is, right? So I get the hey, hi, how's it going, this, that, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, we listen to your podcast. Give them some dice. Everybody's pretty friendly. Sometimes you got dice back. But my point was sitting through as people were watching or looking at your armies and commenting. They're just, oh, this is nice. I love how it looks. Blah blah blah. It's a feel good moment, right? I'm not the greatest. I can paint well, but having the compliments come through and the other White Scars player come and chat you up a little bit about how do you find the army, and then have the finding out the tournament organizer as well does White Scars and does them quite well. It's great because you don't really see the army that much, right? And people just loved the whole bike thing and painting. I know Bill even got some pretty cool comment stuff with his army. Probably a few times in a row as they kept passing by and looking at the, the armies. So, no, it's great, and I'm sure you guys got comments and stuff too throughout your games.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of comments, which that's why I'm there.
Yeah, no, and that's the spirit of the community too, right?
Oh yeah, no, as everyone was super friendly and super nice, and everyone had great looking armies to boot.
And it even seems like there's a couple different groups as well. Some guys that have, their YouTube channels, or they have stuff for just different groups. Game. So dice for them as well, and action. Essentially putting
cool.
figuring out who's who and being able to make that connection with people.
For sure, and it gives you inspiration for, you've always got that, my next Legion's going to be this, and then you get to see kind of a bunch of different variations of it, and you go, oh, this is actually really cool. I like that idea, and you can kind of cobble together your own version of, greatest hits of everything else you've seen, plus your own ideas. I know I've always kind of played with the idea of doing a Death Guard. For some reason, Death Guards always stood out to me, and there was some pretty cool looking Death Guard armies there, and I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I have it in me to do another, massed infantry army, but Legion Imperialis, that's a lot of little boys that should get painted up a lot quicker than the new big stuff. So that might be my play, and just say, hey, I've seen what I like. Let's make it just itty bitty sized.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of opportunity for that, for sure. For sure. The nice thing too is, like for us here, there's going to be a big shift to Necromunda. I know Heresy's kind of getting put a little bit on the back burner for us, but it's not the end of Heresy stuff. There's going to be Zone Mortalis games. It's been getting thrown around quite a bit. It's a theater that I think they really knocked it out of the park in the CG, like the Cathonia book. The rules are very well written. They have a lot of balancing mechanics in there, and actual restrictions, like no more than 1 dread per 1,000 points. The reinforcement points and that whole mechanic is really, really neat. So we will be definitely busting out some games for that in the future, to keep that Heresy content rolling, and still be posting and everything like that. It's not the end of Heresy. It's just you might see it kind of bounce back and forth. Obviously, it'll be nice to also see more Marines with that Betab era stuff coming out, because that's kind of right up there as like cool as fuck, just like Heresy is. So definitely stay tuned for that stuff. It's going to be very nice. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to throw out a big shout to our patrons. We've got Dustin, Frederick, Chris, Tyler, and Ed. Really appreciate you guys supporting us in what we do. It's really nice to have, a group that's kind of behind you every step of the way. Nice to get feedback from them. We're trying to share as much info before it ever becomes public on our Patreon. They get discounts on dice and our objective markers and pretty much everything that like Trident's trying to hawk and sell for swag. Try and give early bird heads up or early bird pricing for events. We're really trying to expand that side of the Patreon program. So stay tuned for that. There'll be lots of stuff coming up. I know we're getting excited for end of the year. We're going to be having like a Trident social. There's going to be more on that later. But yeah, we'll have a Trident social event where we're going to be getting as many gamers together as we can to try and have just a big community give back. Everyone kind of get together, have some dinner and drinks, and bring your wives, significant others out, and just kind of break bread with all the people that you game with locally, which is going to be nice. I think it'll just a way to kind of really reinforce that community feel. So that'll be coming up as well. Is there anything else you guys wanted to mention before we shut her down?
Thanks to Battle Bling as well.
Oh yeah, big shout, Battle Bling. Awesome upgrades. They're one of our sponsors, and the kits. I have a couple that I'm actually trying to work on for the Titanicus, the slow grow. I've got a few little special kits getting done up, so I have some paint on those. So we'll definitely be posting pictures of that too. But yeah, check out all the links in the description if you want any of that sweet gear for your models. It's well worth it.
Very cool. Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me on, guys. This was cool. I'm always down to talk Heresy. We don't get a lot of that fix out here. Not a huge community in the Okanagan, so it's definitely cool to see the boys out, play some games, roll some dice, and sit around and bullshit afterwards.
Hell yeah.
That's what this hobby's all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely. Okay, well, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for some Heresy action. There will be more. And, yeah, thank you, Ben and Dustin, for jumping in with us and chatting it up. And thanks to Boys of Golden Throne and BB Miniatures for hosting a really cool event. 5 out of 5 uwoos would attend again.
Uwoo.
So, awesome, guys. Catch you later.
See you guys.
Later.
Did you plug the Patreon? We need to plug the Patreon.